Hey everyone, it is the Charming Giraffe, and today we are going to make a domino set. This will take a few days, but you'll see it all in one video. And the theme will be like Bumblebee. So I've got all these little like different confetti pieces. All of the pieces came in a set from Amazon, so I'll link that in the description. But some of them, these little bumblebee pieces, which are super cute by the way, these were just little circles because the bumblebees that came with this set were too big for the domino set. So I actually got a bumblebee cutout and like hole punch, and I just put the little circles that were that color, like the plain yellow, the polka dotted, and the stripes in here, and then just punched them out to make these cute little bumblebees, because you couldn't do a bumblebee domino set without actual bumblebees in here. But my favorite piece is definitely these like little honeycomb shapes. They're like sparkly glitter. They were too big, so I had to like cut a few honeycombs off of them to make them fit, but at least I was able to make those work. And then all the other pieces fit just fine. We are using Mixed Media Girl Artist Resin for this first layer. I'm going to try to get 3 layers into this domino set, so wish me luck on that part. And in this first layer I was going to use gold dust, but I can't find it, so we're going to use diamond dust instead, because I could find the diamond dust. I could not find my gold dust, so I might have to locate that and make a second set. So I just added a little scoop to my resin. Get that stirred into the resin itself. I pre-mixed the resin just before recording the video, just so you didn't have to watch me stir for 3 minutes. It is a 2-part resin, so you use part A and B equal parts by volume. I mix up about 5 ounces. I'm going to take the 91% isopropyl alcohol and spray the mold. This helps with those little bitty tiny air bubbles that you can get on the front of the dominoes, so I'm going to do that kind of gently. Normally you want to do that a little bit earlier before pouring in the resin, so I'll let that set for just a second. But that really does help with those air bubbles. And we've got quite a few in here. Oh, I'm not focused. So we do have quite a few air bubbles, so that will help with that as well. I am just going to pour a very, very thin layer. I might try to get the dots covered, but if I don't, there's going to be more resin layers in here, so I'm not too worried about it. And then what I'm going to do real quick again is I'm going to spray the resin with the isopropyl alcohol again to pop any air bubbles coming up before I set the confetti pieces in there, so that those air bubbles don't get trapped under there. That'll help with that problem. There might still get some, but it's less likely to happen. And then I don't really want a pattern as far as like where each of these pieces are, so I'm just going to place them randomly. Like I don't want like the first like 0 through whatever to be all the same. So I'm just going to place them in here randomly, and then try to get it to where when I get to the end that I don't have 2 next to each other that are the same. These are the cute little bumblebees that are stripes. See if I can get that to focus. There we go. Super cute. I am doing 1 per row since each row has 7 dominoes in it, so I make sure that that stays consistent. Come on. I didn't do any testing to see like if these would bleed or not as far as like the resin is concerned. Like, will the colors bleed with the resin, like blend it? So we're just gonna wing it on that part. Wing it. Bumblebees have wings. I'm silly. And of course I got 3 on the side here, but I don't think that'll really matter too much. It does look like, ooh, it's these guys. These are bleeding. Oh no. Okay, we're just gonna have to risk it. Hopefully they won't bleed too much into the resin. Try to put the colors that are bleeding up towards the top instead of on the side that you'll actually see. Just cross our fingers. The next layer will be glitter, I think is what I've decided. So hopefully any air bubbles will kind of be blended into that glitter layer. So I'm not gonna spray them again. Normally I would, but I don't want these to bleed any more than they have. Like, I don't know if you can see it on the table, but I can see yellow on the table from that. So that is good to know. Or I guess I can cover them. Try to get the others. Maybe that'll work a little bit better because there's definitely more air bubbles coming up. But I'm not gonna worry about it too much, and we'll be back to do the next layer. Hey everyone, we are back, and the dominoes did pretty well. There wasn't a ton of bleeding. There was a little bit, but not a ton, so I'm okay with it. Bleeding being the color coming off of pretty much just the honeycomb. The yellow, like, kind of dye kind of bleeds into the resin, but it didn't do it too terribly from what I can see, so we're gonna keep going with it, and I am still pretty happy with it so far. Everything else seemed to do pretty good, so I'm not worried about anything else, at least from this side. Obviously we're building them upside down, so it's kind of hard to tell until we demold them. So next layer, and I am going to try to get 3 layers into these dominoes, which can be difficult, but this next layer will be glitter. So I've got black, gold, and silver. The gold's going to kind of work like our yellow. So normally you probably wouldn't want to mix gold and silver together, but I am. So it's by Let's Resin. It's this glitter powder, but it's pretty chunky. It's really pretty though. I've used it many times and I highly recommend them. I'll put the link in the description for those. And then this is mixed Media Girl resin, the same resin we used before. And I definitely mixed up a little bit more than I will need, so there will be another project with this soon. I just got a little heavy-handed when pouring the resin in. With the glitter, you do have to kind of continually stir it because the glitter sinks, which is not good when you're kind of pouring it in a cup, because you're just going to pour out like a whole bunch of like plain resin, and then when you get to the end of the cup, there's where all your glitter's going to be. As far as like at least when you're building things upside down, it actually kind of works in your favor because all the glitter's going to sink to the bottom, so when you demold it, it'll all be on the top. So this just kind of looks like sludge right now, but I promise it will be beautiful. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to spray it with the 91% isopropyl alcohol to pop the air bubbles. You can probably see it. They're popping up here in these ones that we did first, because it's had time to let those air bubbles pop up. All right. So far I'm very happy. I'm going to let the air bubbles come up some more for these ones that we did last and keep popping them as they come up. You can wait a few minutes and then just spray it again. Just watch it and keep spraying it as needed. And then we'll come back to do our final coat. I'm thinking white, but I might have an idea between now and then and do a different color. I don't know. It'll have to be a pretty opaque white though, so these darker shades don't come through. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. All right, we are back. I've got a little bit of resin mixed up, I think just over 3 ounces. We probably won't need all of it. But I'm gonna try to do yellow on the back since it is Bumblebee themed. I thought yellow would be a good choice. So I've got this pigment color, it's yellow. I'm gonna put some of that in here. A little bit added. I've got some mica powder I want to add too, but I do want this to be a little opaque, so I want to see how that color kind of blends in so I know kind of where we're at color wise. It's a really pretty color. I'm not sure how well you can see it on the stick, but in the cup it's really pretty. Now we will slowly fill in our mold. I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. Just trying to decide if I thought this was opaque enough. I'm a little nervous about it, especially against this black glitter, but we're just gonna roll with it. Alright, we are back and we are ready to demold. I really wanted to do this yesterday, but I ran out of daylight, so I didn't want to do it in the dark, so I waited a day. And here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I did go with yellow. Oh, I think you already saw that. So I'll have to get rid of all these little hangy doodads, but look at it. It turned out so perfect. I'm so excited. I think that diamond dust worked perfectly. Here's another bumblebee. And in some of it, like this one, you can see the yellow through, which I'm okay with. And then some of it, you really can't see too much yellow through, but that's okay. Ooh, here's a honeycomb. You can see where some of the yellow dye like disappeared, but you can't see it in the resin. You just kind of see that that honeycomb's a little different colors, which I don't have a problem with. It gives it some extra dimension there, so I am not upset. Oh, I'm so happy. This, like, I had kind of a picture in my head, and I was able to execute it very well. Oh, here's one of the yellow honeycomb. So pretty. Plain white one, so I'm happy that we definitely added the diamond dust and the glitter behind it, because otherwise that would be pretty boring looking. Let's keep going here. Did we show all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so you've seen them all. So cool. I'm very happy with this set. Oh no, perfect. Everything's looking good. I think I made some great decisions on how to do the backs and the several different layers in there to make all of these unique and interesting. Because obviously, like, the bumblebees and the honeycomb are going to be more exciting than like this white little shape here, but with that yellow, it's so pretty. All right, so now I will show you how I finish the dots. So I have this little bitty bottle here that's got this like needle pen, and there's just a regular acrylic paint in here mixed with a little bit of water to make it more fluid. This is actually the 00, so that's exciting. It might be a little bit harder to see since this is also on the white shape, but I just fill that in, and then normally, if you aren't a mess like me, you actually can do it to where you don't have any mess, but then you can just scratch it off or use rubbing alcohol or water to get the splatter off. But I'll see if I can do one where I don't actually leave a huge mess. This is the 2-6. They're definitely hard to see on their own. Hopefully that is getting captured in the camera okay. And you just fill it in. Worked really well. And then virtually no mess if you're not messy, because the little needle pen fits in the little dot very well. Ta-da! Now you can see what number it is. Let's do one where it might actually show up a little bit better, and we're going to do the 6-4. And I just kind of like spin it around, and oh, probably wasn't very focused. I'll try to keep my hand to the side here. I just kind of like spin my hand around in the little dot to cover up all the edges. Hopefully that is getting captured okay. So that is how I finish them. I don't do anything to them after that. Just peel off these little, like where it kind of overflowed, or where the little drips were on the edge of the mold. So I think these are going to look awesome. I will get all of these dots filled in, and then I will show you how the final project looks all done. So we'll be back in just a minute. Alright, we are back and the dominoes are all done. You will see I've put them in order, and there are like 3 of these identical ones in a row and 2 of these identical ones in a row. I just now found out that my domino mold, there is no rhyme or reason. Here's the 6-6, here's the 6-5, here's the 6-3 and the 6-2 and the 6-1. For some reason I thought they were like in some sort of order. They are not in any order. So when I did my random placement, it actually did no good, because there's like 2 of these that are identical next to each other. Pretty funny how that worked out. I'm not worried about it, but I just wanted to let you guys know in case you were going to try something similar and thought that the dominoes were in some sort of order in the mold, because they are not. But let's do a really quick close-up on all of these so you can see how beautiful they turned out. I am so happy. I've definitely got other ideas for other designs in mind that I will be doing in the future. But if there's anything specific that you want to see, like a theme, then leave those in the comments, because I had a fantastic time doing this and I would love to do others. So drop those there. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and do what makes you happy.